The Raptors make it 4 in a row as they go into New York and beat the Knicks without Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam. 113-104 is your final. Welcome to the virtual version of Raptors Night Cap. I'm Randy Urban. Tonight, we're joined by Paul Jones, Sherman Hamilton, and Leo Rautins. Jonesy, I'm going to start with you. This is a great game. Start to finish. Well, maybe not start to finish, but this was a great game for the Raptors, a great win. The Knicks controlled the tempo there for most of the first half. They were up 50-35 at one point. How are the Raptors able to regain control?
Sherman and I, talked about this a lot on the radio. You still have, the remnants of championship mentality. Jack, our colleague Jack Armstrong likes to call it the residue of winning. And there's another R word that the Raptors are famous for, and that's resiliency. I thought they did a great job of kind of sticking to the game plan, kind of corralling the Knicks, they just kind of kept playing. It's a long game. Okay, we're down 15. Keep executing. Keep playing defense. Hands active, steals, forced turnovers. These are the things that we are touchstones and cornerstones for us. Let's keep doing them. It doesn't matter that we're down 15. If we keep doing them, they will eventually pull us through and put us into the lead. And listen, we saw a 30-point swing from the time they were down 15 in the first half to the time they went up 15 in the second half. And really, that third quarter was phenomenal. They did a terrific job. They took the lead and they never gave it up. So I credit a lot of it, Randy, to the will as much as the skill and the resiliency.
Sherm, how did you see that swing?
A few things I saw, guys. I saw, number one, the Knicks were on fire from the three-point line for most of that first half. I thought beginning the end of that second quarter, going into the third quarter, they completely took the Knicks out of rhythm in terms of the driving kick game that they had in the first half. And they forced the Knicks to play more 5-on-5 and have to defend in the open court. The other side that I just touched on is they became less of a half-court team playing type of game and made it more up-tempo, made more defensive turnovers that led to offensive opportunities. They changed the pace of the game. And you could see once you took the Knicks three-point line away, they were struggling to figure out an effective, consistent way to score the basketball. And then at the end of the day, I thought their energy, their ability to make multiple efforts per possession, I thought Gary Trent was off the charts. I thought Khem Birch was off the charts, OG Anunoby. I thought everybody who got in the game from an energy standpoint on the defensive end did a great job in the second half of taking control of the game. And if you're going to turn people over, and if you're going to find your offense and start to knock down threes because the floor is more open and take away the strengths of the Knicks, you're going to have a chance to have success. And we saw the Raptors have that in the second half.
Leo?
Yeah, I mean, as with everything else, everybody said here, it was just a great effort, right? Hey, the Raptors are better when they run, 21-3 fast break points. They're better when they score turnovers. They only had 9 turnovers themselves, and they scored 20 points off the New York Knicks, 17 turnovers. So they're generating offense off of their defense. And, they really did a good job, as everybody pointed out, taking away the threes, the open looks. Early on, it was casual, like dribble penetration kick. New York was getting looks. All of a sudden, they're gone. And New York really labored to find a way to score. OG was spectacular. Gary Trent was spectacular. But I'll tell you what, Khem Birch came in the game like, Precious Achiuwa is struggling right now. He's really trying to find his game, and he's pressing. He's trying to do too much, and it's creating some problems. Khem Birch came in the game and was a calming influence, and in a good way where, he was instrumental in things happening defensively. He was getting to loose balls. He's getting to rebounds. He's getting second shot opportunities. He was a stabilizer out there. And I think really was the anchor to let everybody else do what they had to do.
Right.
That was a big performance.
No, see, Leo, and I wanted to jump on that when you talk about everybody doing what they do. We give some credit to Nick Nurse here. Things aren't working well. Hey, man, I got guys dying to play at the end of the bench. Justin Champagnie, get in there. Malachi Flynn, come on, I need you for a few minutes.
Hey, Malachi did a great job.
I thought he did too, Leo. And again, Nick, it's always been said, Nick fuels his players' confidence by going to them and saying, I believe in you. I need you now. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, get in there. Give me something. And so I've got to give Nick some credit for that too. Just get in there and hold the fort. See if you can When you go down the bench to Justin Champagny or Malachi Flynn in Madison Square Garden, and the guy's been sitting there all game watching his team down 15. Sherman and I were talking about this on the radio. Which one of us wouldn't be, when the coach leans down to look, you lean down and you look down the bench, hey, you looking for me? I can get in there. I can help, right? And it's the attitude you have. And then the coach rewards you, and you do something to help. You do your part. It builds to the resiliency. And all of a sudden, the guys on the bench are like, hey, yeah, wait. And bang, it starts to turn around. So don't underplay Nick and his, hey, man, let's play this hunch and put these guys in.
And I just want to add something, too. Julius Randle was having his way in that first quarter and for much of the first half. And I really thought the Raptors did a good job of really attacking him, making him have to play defense, forcing him to have to stay engaged on the defensive end. And then offensively, they started to throw that second body at him when he turned his back, and sometimes he'd square up, and he saw all these hands, and it really took his flow away. And they seemed to cut off the head of the snake when they slowed Julius Randle down. So a good adjustment by Nick and the Raptors, and a good job by the smaller defenders that defended Julius Randle to really become a pestering influence in terms of taking him out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, one of the things, Randall, that was an issue last year was the rebounding. And to Sherm's point, all the smaller people doing their job, Raptors out rebounded New York tonight, and they don't have any big hulking presences out there. And as Leo said, Khem was like the calm kind of old guy to just all right, let's take our time and get this thing done. Let's not panic.
Yeah, Leo, just going back to Khem, it's amazing how effective you can be by just being solid.
Well, Randy is a veteran. He's smart. You could see that when he came to the Raptors last season. You could as soon as he got there, he made an impact, right? Not because he knew everything the Raptors are doing, but he knows how to play the game of basketball. He knows where, he knows where he's supposed to be. He knows how he plays the angles. He runs the floor. He does all the little things you want a guy to do. So, okay, you got Precious Achiuwa, who's got tremendous potential, right? No one's going to argue that. I mean, he's a big live body, and he does so many different things, and he's a very different player than Khem Birch. He's got to grow into this new role, the new minutes he's been given, and how to play and how to respond. Hey, how to have a good game after a bad game. It's all part of the learning curve, because at Miami, he got very limited opportunity. Khem is the guy that it just throw him out there, all right? You can give him more minutes, you can give him less minutes, whatever you give him, he's just going to find a way to contribute. And those guys are extremely valuable. And, and for a coach to know that you always have that, it's consistent, it's there, is a huge thing.
Sure. Let's talk about OG. I mean, he had a career high 36 points, but for me, I was mostly impressed with his consistency. He was effective from start to finish. And to me, that's what makes you great.
Yeah, and OG, one of those bodies that had to deal with Julius Randle for a lot of this night. And, I'm so impressed with his ability to be physical defensively, to be physical on the offensive end, and still maintain a motor and level of play that doesn't break down. He's done some great work in the offseason. There's no question we can see that he's put the work in to get his body and his cardio into this type of situation. But OG's ability to score in different ways, he is very powerful around the basket. When he elevates around the hoop, he's going up to take people and put them in the bucket. His ability to make plays for his teammates, the strength that he attacks the basket with. I'm so impressed with him. And in this game, he made a couple of big shots when they really didn't have anything going offensively, and he would knock down a shot. And that's how you continue to grow into leadership. Those kind of moments start to really establish you as a guy that, hey, the coach hasn't drawn up a play. There's plays broken down. There's a scramble out there. Can that guy get something for you? And OG showed in this game on at least a couple of situations where he was able to get the job done.
Yeah, Jonesy, that step back three with about 8 minutes to go in the fourth, like we don't see a lot of that from him, and we're starting to see more of those types of moves this season.
It's all emerging, Randy, and we've been waiting for it. And I go back to the championship season when, look, even if you're not a mechanic, if you're in the garage long enough with one, you'll learn a few things. You'll learn how to, maybe change a tire or loosen the bolts on the tire or open the hood. He spent a year hanging out with Kawhi Leonard. Okay. And I've always said this, their demeanors and their deportment, very, very similar in that sense. Quiet, confident, can be physical, play both ends of the floor. And I just think you're starting to see OG emerge in that light right now. He's doing things that you say, wow, I like the step. Wow, I didn't know he had that. He does have it. It just isn't thrown out there in a fancy, flashy, ostentatious way, but he's got the game.
Mm-hmm. You might have just come up with a new nickname for him, the mechanic, right? He's just so clinical. There's so much precision in his game, and it's exciting to me because I'm seeing the growth on it. We saw it last year. You saw the growth, Leo, on a game-by-game basis near the end of the season, and it's taken this like huge jump this year.
Well, one of the things, and Sherman made it clear that what we've all been waiting for, even when he has a big scoring game, right? When do you score, right? And we're seeing in the last couple of games now, he's scoring when a team needs him to score. Okay, it's a dry spot. The Knicks are making a run, or we're making a run, and we just need to keep pushing a little bit more. He's finding those times to score and be a major contributor. A lot of guys can finish a game with 25 points and not make a difference in the game. All right, OG now is making a difference in the game when he scores. The other day, right? When did he score a lion's share of his points? In the fourth quarter when the Raptors took the game, right? And that's what you want to see right now. You're seeing a guy you got to have confidence to do that. You got to believe in yourself. And he is sneaky athletic, man. He's strong as a horse. He rises up quickly, a flat-footed jumper that can just, you're not ready. He's got to just dunk it on you. And again, he's giving you that and more at the defensive end. I mean, how could he not love that?
We'll go a little overtime here, Sherm, because we didn't talk about Gary Trent yet. I mean, they don't win this game without Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, no question about it. And, since he's been inserted into the starting lineup, he's played with this certain kind of energy and activity that's been so refreshing. And in this game, I really thought that the Raptors started to pick their game up end of that second quarter because Gary Trent started to get active. He started to get in the passing lanes. He became very disruptive. He's throwing his body around it, and there's so much commotion when he's on defense and so much activity. He flusters people. And then on the other end of the floor, he's making plays offensively. He's coming off that screen. He's getting into the guts of the defense. He's patient in there. His footwork is solid. He's able to make shots for himself. And I really think that because he got it going, the team started to fall into the line and come out in the third quarter and get it going. But I just love his energy, and everything stems from the young man's energy. When he plays at a high energy level, his defense is better, his offense is better, and I think he helps to raise the team's energy as well.
All right, guys, great stuff as always. Got to stop you there. Next game for the Raptors, Wednesday night in Washington against the Wizards, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.